The brutal rape and murder of a young doctor at the RG Kar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata has sent shockwaves across the country. Doctors are up in arms demanding answers from the Bengal state government and the hospital administration. Remember, the case was initially ruled as a suicide, and when the gravity of the crime was brought to light, the principal, who did not even file a police complaint, was simply shunted out to another college. Moreover, now, renovations near the crime scene within just a week of the crime having happened, that has started inside the hospital premises, prompting the BJP to accuse the ruling TMC government of tampering with evidence. After the High Court shifted the investigation to the CBI, more evidence has emerged pointing to the involvement of more than just one rapist. But so far, only one suspect is in custody. Even Rahul Gandhi has come out and accused the TMC government of attempting to shield the accused. The case is being dubbed as Nirbhaya 2.0. A doctor was brutalized and killed inside a hospital premises that she was working in. Given the evidence and the questionable steps taken by the state police and the state government so far, does this case reek of a cover-up?
ममता बनर्जी किसी को बचा रही हैं। ये कौन है? ये लोग कौन हैं?
माफिया या क्रिमिनल एंटरप्राइज जैसे वो बिहेव कर रहे हैं। पहले तो कहते हैं कि वो सुइसाइड हुआ है, 3 घंटे फैमिली को वेट करवाते हैं, फिर कहते हैं कि सुइसाइड हुआ है, और फिर अभी एक कवरअप की जैसे एक साजिश हो रहा है, वहाँ पे कवरअप की कोशिश हो रहा है।
The hospital administration informed the parents that it was a suicide. Everything has been suppressed and not being reported anywhere. I don't know why. What could be the reason?
Will this minister continue? Should not he be sacked immediately?
আর এখন তো আমাদের হাতে কেস নেই, এখন তো কোর্টের বিচারে এটা সাবজুডিস এবং সিবিআই এর হাতে কেস। আমরা আমাদের এভিডেন্স কাগজপত্র সব তুলে দিয়েছি, কিন্তু প্রোভাইডেড দোষী ব্যক্তিদের গ্রেফতার করে তাদের ফাঁসি দিতে হবে। যারা অ্যাকচুয়াল দোষী, দোষীদের আড়াল করা চলবে না।
So here's what the postmortem report says. Number one, that there were wounds in private parts that were caused by perverted sexuality and genital torture, that injuries covered her belly, lips, fingers and left leg. Bleeding was seen from the eyes and the mouth, that the nose and the mouth were clamped, the head was pushed against a wall to prevent screaming. There were deep scratch marks on the face of the victim, the mouth, the throat. They were pressed to prevent screaming. Strangulation led to suffocation and breaking of the collarbone. Now, that does raise some very serious and very big questions. Why were the victim's parents initially told that the cause of the death was suicide? Why did the principal initially claim that the victim suffered from psychosis? Why did not the principal file a formal police complaint? Why were the parents not given access to the body for a good 3 hours after reaching the hospital? And why has the renovation work started right next to the crime scene exactly less than a week before the investigation has begun? And did the cops list more suspects? As postmortem indicates, more than one accused was involved. Is the main accused Sanjay Roy, who's been arrested, being made a scapegoat to shield the others? Let's try and put those questions to our panelists who are now joining us. Shatrupa is spokesperson of the Bengal BJP. Kiran Bedi is former IPS officer, former Lieutenant Governor. Dr. R.V. Ashokan is president of the Indian Medical Association. And Mohammad Tausifur Rahman is spokesperson of the TMC, who will be joining us. I do want to start with you, Shatrupa. What the TMC is saying is, look, the moment this case came to light, the police got involved, the police investigated. Within 24 hours, they found the main accused. They arrested him, he's been remanded to police custody, and now the investigation has been handed over to the CBI. What more would you have the state government do?
We want the Chief Minister to resign, one line. But coming to details, yes, it is very true that the Chief Minister almost ran to the parents' house and tried to placate them. Even according to her own statement today evening, she's even offered them some money. That, forget about what has happened, the daughter is not going to come back, don't do the investigation, etc. It is all based on her statement. This is not something she told me. Now, our questions are very, very elementary. Why has not the crime scene been sealed? I mean, in the words of the police, I think it would be something like, why has not the crime scene been secured? Why were people not questioned? People who were right there and then for that 4 hours, 6 hours duration, people who were on duty, doctors, nurses, male attendants, grade floor staff, nobody was questioned. I think you have already said this. Shwandip Ghosh, who's was the head of Archicot, has made insensitive statements like, why was she there? What was she doing in the night? Whereas this man is supposed to do the roster as to who's going to be on duty when. Of course, he's been immediately removed. And then, of course, within another few hours, he was planted into a different hospital. And then Trinamool spokespersons have even told me on a channel that why are you objecting? This is all because of service to mankind. Well, the service to mankind has even, when it comes to the notice of the High Court, who said that, how powerful can a person be that the government of West Bengal is compelled to compensate him with a job immediately within 24 hours. Zaka, I don't think even you would get a job so fast. It's incredible. Now, having said all this...
Well, I also wouldn't preside over the sexual molestation and murder of a female colleague, but that aside, go on.
I am sorry. There's a bad comparison, but all I'm trying to tell you is that the way he was taken out from one to protect him and put into another hospital, that has even caught the eye of the High Court. Now, that is serious. Okay. Now, the other thing is, you were talking about the number of injuries and the wounds on the girl's body. You have, of course, you already know that there have been a minimum 2 kinds of semen which has been found. These people are rejoicing about one Sanjeev Rai, who they have, suddenly picked up from nowhere. Apparently, the Bluetooth was kept. I am no Sherlock Holmes. I am just saying all this based on the TV cameras, whatever they are showing. This is hitting the people of West Bengal.
Okay.
Why? Why would you not take basic DNA samples and match it with the people on duty? Today, even the Chief Minister has said, no, she's done all that. When she's got the police to do that, nobody in West Bengal knows.
Okay, so let me ask Mohammad Tausifur Rahman, the role of the principal is certainly under scrutiny. Why did he initially claim that the victim had committed suicide and that she was suffering from depression and psychosis? Why did the principal, under whose watch this case happened, this mutilation of a body happened inside his premises, why did the principal not file a police complaint? And the most curious and critical question, within 4 hours, okay, I'm joined by the father of the victim. I will not want to identify him. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए. ये बताइए, अभी हाल ही में हाई कोर्ट ने ये जो मामला है इसका जांच CBI को दे दिया है. क्या आप संतुष्ट हैं कि कोलकाता पुलिस के हाथ से ये जांच को CBI को दे दिया है?
आप ये क्या बात बोल रहा है? हमको संतुष्टि का क्या बात है? हम जितने दिन न्याय विचार नहीं मिलेगा, संतुष्टि का क्या बात होता है? हमको क्या संतुष्टि मिलेगा?
नहीं, आप क्या, मेरा मतलब ये है कि आप चाहते थे कि कोलकाता पुलिस के हाथ से ये जांच हाई कोर्ट CBI के हाथ सौंपा जाए.
हम लोग चाह और नहीं चाहिए तो बात अलग है, लेकिन आप बोलता है खुशी है कि नहीं, खुशी का होने से तो बात ही नहीं है ना.
नहीं, मैं आपसे यही पूछ रहा हूं सर कि क्या आप चाहते थे कि CBI जांच करे?
है, वही तो कर रहा है.
क्या आप ये चाहते थे कि कोलकाता पुलिस के हाथ से ये जांच हटाकर CBI के हाथ दिया जाए?
जितना टाइम हम लोग विचार नहीं मिलेगा, हम लोग इस बारे में कुछ नहीं बताएगा।
क्या
हमको विचार
आपको
विचार
कॉन्फिडेंस
जैसे सुनिए
है
ना,
कि सीबीआई इस जांच के मतलब बॉटम तक जा सकती है और जो भी इसमें दोषी है उसको पकड़ पाएगी?
हाई कोर्ट के ऊपर में, कोर्ट के ऊपर में हम लोगों को तो आशा रखना ही चाहिए ना, क्या करें।
आपको लगता है कि
और किसके
सिर्फ
पास क्या है?
एक ही मुलजिम नहीं था कि एक और मतलब और अक्यूज्ड भी हैं और वो अभी फरार
वो
है?
तो है, वो तो है ही, लेकिन देखिए क्या बात है, पूरा डिपार्टमेंट इसके लिए कोई जिम्मेदार है।
जी।
क्या है, एक ऑन ड्यूटी डॉक्टर को
हम्म।
हर टाइम जरूरत पड़ता है। उस दिन में 7 घंटा में मेरा लड़की के साथ कोई आया नहीं, लड़के के पास, वो दुष्कृति दुष्कर्म करके चला गया।
हम्म।
यही हम लोगों का एक क्वेश्चन है।
नहीं नहीं,
तो
आपको लगता है कि सिर्फ एक ही आरोपी नहीं है और आरोपी भी हो सकते हैं?
ये तो देखेंगे, जो जो इन्वेस्टिगेट करेगा उसको देखना पड़ेगा। तो हम लोग कैसे बताएंगे, हम लोग, हमसे 22 किलोमीटर दूर है कॉलेज।
नहीं नहीं,
हम दो बार कॉलेज
आपका
में दिया है।
संशय क्या है कि और भी आरोपी हो सकते हैं या नहीं?
हम लोगों का तो कोई समस्या नहीं है, हम लोगों का न्याय विचार मिले, यही हमको अभी डिमांड है। और
तो
तो कोई डिमांड
ये जो आरोपी है जिसको गिरफ्तार किया गया है वो पुलिस रिमांड में है, जो भी जांच हुआ है अभी तक उससे आप
अभी तक तो आपने सुना है, हाई कोर्ट में बोला है, कुछ नहीं हुआ है।
कुछ नहीं हुआ है?
नहीं, वो एक आदमी को पकड़ के, वो आदमी विक्टिम है, वो आदमी क्रिमिनल है कि नहीं है, वो भी हमको लोग का अभी तक मालूम नहीं है।
तो आपके मन में आशंका है कि ये जो आरोपी है इसने नहीं या तो सिर्फ इसने नहीं किया या आपको लगता है कि इसने नहीं किया है, मतलब कोई और इन्वॉल्व था इसमें?
ये तो हम लोग नहीं बता सकते ना। जो लोग इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहा है वो लोग बस बता सकते हैं कौन है कि नहीं। अभी तो साइंस का युग है।
नहीं नहीं,
अब तो
मैं
जानते हैं
आपसे
सब
पूछ रहा हूं कि आपके मन में क्या आशंका है?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये तो नहीं बोल सकते ना। पूरा हाईकोर्ट विषय इसके बारे में जांच कर रहा है, हम क्या बोलेंगे इसके बारे में।
नहीं नहीं, हाईकोर्ट की बात तो छोड़ दीजिए, ये जो केस हुआ है आपकी बेटिया के साथ जो भी हुआ है, मतलब
ये तो पूरा
बेहद गलत हुआ
तो
है,
इसका तो कोई बात नहीं है
इसके
ना।
बारे में क्या आशंका है? आपको लगता है कि जो राज्य सरकार है वो किसी को
आप
प्रोटेक्ट
लोग
कर रही है?
ये सुनिए ना, आप लोग है, मेरा मेरा राज्य का मुख्यमंत्री है, देश का प्रधानमंत्री है, ये सब देखने के लिए राष्ट्रपति है, राज्यपाल है, प्रशासन है, कोई ना कोई तो कुछ हाल हाल और कोर्ट भी है, कोई ना कोई तो किसी ने को हाल निकालने का कोशिश करेगा ना।
तो आपको लगता है कि जो भी ये जो संस्थाएं हैं वो ये सच को ढूंढ कर निकालेंगे कि क्या ये जो आदमी गिरफ्तार है सिर्फ वही इन्वॉल्व था कि और भी लोग हैं?
ये तो हम क्या बोला, कोई ना कोई तो किसी का ऊपर तो हम लोग का हिम्मत भी रखना है, आशा भी रखना है।
ठीक है, आपको हिम्मत भी रखना है और आशा भी रखना है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। यू नो, आई हैव नो वर्ड्स टू से to the father of the victim in this case. He's just hoping that whether it's the CBI or whatever investigation is carried into this case, that whoever was responsible for this absolutely incomprehensible fate that was meted out to this young doctor, he is brought, or if there are multiple persons, then they are brought to justice. Let me go to Mohammad Tausifur Rahman. You heard the father of the victim. I mean, what would you say to him? He doesn't come across as somebody who is confident with whatever the state government has done in the last 4 or 5 days. He seems to give the impression that given the nature of the injuries, given how grave it was, how damaging it was, more than one person carried out the attack.
Yeah, absolutely, Zaka. I mean, it's very sensitive for me as well to say anything as a spokesperson because, you know, we have lost our daughter, we have lost a sister. I mean, it's not something to politicize. It's not something to sit and give speech. I mean, this is the same statement we heard from the father when he made the chief minister. And he said that I have full faith in you and I have full faith in the judiciary, prime minister, governor, and etc., and everybody is doing their job. But yes, when you talk about the lapse of the security, it was there. I mean, no one can deny that. But at the same time, you know, I mean, beside getting out a point and getting near to the justice, I mean, the whole thing is getting politicized. I mean, if you speak to the protester who are sitting outside, my brothers and sisters, all these students, I mean, they never complained about anything. They just said that we need justice. And, you know, when you talk about the FIR, many politicians are saying that the FIR got delayed. But no, if you can ask the father, if you can ask the students, they said no, the FIR was on time. But yes, when you talk about the principle, the protester demanded that I don't want to see this man's face inside the premises. And why he got shifted? Because the CM said that they said that it need to get shifted. So we shifted the principle. But at the
No,
same time,
but can you
5
explain
o'clock,
why
Zaka.
within 6 hours, Tausif, why within six
Yes.
hours this man went from resignation to being appointed principal in a different college? That makes no sense
Zaka,
whatsoever.
this was the confusion, and it's not appropriate. I do understand. I totally agree with you. It's not appropriate. But on the very same day, Abhishek Bandapadhyay asked the principal that please do not go anywhere because the investigation can happen on you as well, because the Kolkata police is working and maybe the CBI can jump as soon as possible. And this happened. And on the very first day, I can show the letter to you, Zaka, on CNN News 18, on your program, that a letter from the state government was sanctioned to all the people who are working inside RG card, that each and everyone has to cooperate the investigation, whether whosoever are
Okay.
you. You know, so the problem is, you know, you are getting, I mean, not you, but the new words, the new lines are coming from each and everywhere. I mean, what the TMC leader said that I do not support, doesn't matter. The party stand is very clear.
Okay.
We need justice.
So let
Period,
me ask
Savarkar.
Dr. Ashokan. I mean, this is one immediate proximate incident that has happened in a Kolkata Medical College and Hospital. But the protesting doctors in Mumbai, in Delhi, in Bengaluru, in Chennai, they are asking for passing of the central government law that will give protection to resident doctors and junior doctors across government colleges and medical institutions across the country. Do you see that happening? Because at the end of the day, it is unfathomable to me that a lady doctor, junior doctor, who is doing her job inside her work premises is subject to this kind of brutality, rape and murder at the work premises. The job of ensuring safety and security is that of the state in those institutions, because it's a government medical college, it's not a private medical college.
We have 25 legislations against violence on doctors, and none of these state legislations have any teeth. They have not convicted anybody who have done violence, which has been prevalent on the doctors and hospital for the past 2 decades. A central law is a must. That is the common minimum demand that we would accept. And it has eluded us for the past 2 decades. And this time, I am sure that there is no choice, but this has to be passed. One, the medical profession across the country is consolidated and is determined. Two, the detailed nature of the crime and the very brutality has moved the entire nation. It's not the medical fraternity. It's about our daughters who are becoming doctors. 60% of the medical profession today is lady doctors, and they are afraid. How are we going to give them that security? It's for the people of the country, it's for the government. It is of the country to ensure that this protection is given to all the doctors, especially lady doctors in their workplace.
Let me ask Dr. Kiran Bedi, as a former IPS officer, former lieutenant governor. You heard Dr. Ashokan of the IMA. He says there are about 24 state legislations which offer these protections to doctors, but they are no good unless there is a central law. How would you speak to that concern? I believe the central law was brought a couple of years back in Parliament. For some reason, the government was not able to pass that law, and now there is renewed pressure on the government. So why is it that despite state laws existing, Dr. Bedi, that the safety of women doctors in their workplaces is not guaranteed, like we saw in the Kolkata case?
Zaka, as far as I know,
The value of the law is in its enforcement. How do you enforce it? Who enforces it? How qualitatively enforces it? How justiciably it enforces. It's not a question of absence of law. It's a question of existing laws not being enforced to the hilt. I think that's the point. Having one more law can only strengthen the legal system. But the question is, existing laws need to be enforced first. And how were they being enforced? How were they being respected? Is the question.
But doesn't it appear odd to you, Dr. Bedi? Here was the accused is a police civic volunteer. He was allegedly wearing the uniform and the insignia of the Kolkata police. He had access to all the departments, all the areas of this government medical college. And at 3 a.m. in the morning, after the friends of this victim left the seminar hall, while she was on duty, while she was at work, this man walks into that room, and that floor does not have CCTV. Every other floor has CCTV, and he's able to carry out what he did. I mean, surely I can't understand for the life of me how he can get away with it unless there is some political patronage.
Two people, I believe, have to answer for this. One is, because he's a police volunteer, what does the police department say about it?
Mm-hmm.
Who allowed the access to him? Who was he? I think only the police department can answer, and we do not know still. At least I haven't come across the police response to it. If it is, then we need to know it. But police is accountable to tell us who is he and under what authority was he wearing the police insignias, etc. Number one. Number two is the administration of the hospital itself. Because administration, who comes into the hospital and who is employed and who serves, is the responsibility of the hospital administration. So two people have to answer this. Not you and me, but two. Now, have they answered it? We do not know.
So the state government, which is the Kolkata police, and the college administration, the medical hospital administration. Shatrapa, it comes down to this moot point. The state government is convinced that whatever CCTV footage they have got, whatever circumstantial evidence they have got, only one accused was involved, and that one accused has been arrested. He is now police remanded. Why are you casting aspersions on the investigation of the Kolkata police?
Zaka, to answer your question, I will actually have to refer to what Madam Kiran Bedi said, that there are two people who need to answer. One, the hospital management, which is directly under, because you said it's a government hospital, it is directly under the health minister. And the police need to answer why this man was wearing the police insignia uniform. So therefore, that is under the police minister. I'm sure you know that the Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal, among her many portfolios, also is the health minister and the police minister. So therefore, that was the first line I started your show with, that we need her resignation. There is no other way. She is absolutely insensitive. She has been continuously insensitive. And we were very surprised by her turning turtle suddenly and going and being very nice about the whole thing to her parents. Today she is back in form, and she has again said that they have done more than enough, and she's being very sarcastic about how long are the doctors going to keep on agitating for something that she's already solved. She's keeping on saying that her forensic evidence is all very clear, all medical evidence has been checked. Where? At least we have not seen it. I'm not talking about BJP. I'm talking about West Bengal at large. I'm talking about all the media channels. Have you seen any kind of forensic evidence being matched with anyone at all, except one Sanjeev Rai? You know, as a somebody, I mean, you don't have to be high up in the police. You don't have to be a great detective to understand that the number of injuries and the kind of injuries that this girl has been inflicted to, minimum, there should be more than one person.
So, Tausif, respond to that. How is it that the gravity of the injuries that the victim suffered, there are unconfirmed reports now of 150 grams of semen being recovered from the crime scene. Those are unconfirmed. I want to underline that. These are not something that CNN News 18 can confirm or vouch for. And the most important thing, everywhere in the college premises, the CCTV is working, except in the floor where the crime scene is, where the seminar hall is. Surely you owe some explanation.
Zaka, absolutely. We need to explain each and everything, and you have all the right, and the whole country have all the rights to answer us, and we can question, we can answer everything. But Zaka, there's a point. I mean, when you talk, and Ashokant, he can agree with me on this. I mean, people like Sanjay Roy, whether he's from civic volunteer or police or just a volunteer. I mean, such touts, Ashokanji, I hope you're listening to me. You will find in each and every medical college, each and every government hospital where they are doing brokery. I mean, people like Sanjay Raut and a tout like him, it's nothing new. I mean, we are there. I mean, we have seen this earlier as well. Regarding the CCTV camera, of course, it's a flaw. I mean, it's a security lapse. I mean, no one can be spared. I mean, the whole Arjikar Institute faculty should be grilled and should not believe whatsoever. Whoever is he, the principal, superintendent, or politician, you think the politician will be spared in West Bengal? No, sir. No one will be spared, because it is not about TMC, BJP, or Congress. We have lost our sister and daughter. I mean, you can't politicize such things.
But can you explain, and I have 30 seconds to wrap up, Tasif, why the principal who was removed from his post, he resigned on the morning a couple of days ago, and within 6 hours, he was reinstated as principal of another college? It just beggars belief.
No, Zaka, I mean, if you see it in a different angle, he never resigned from there. The students demanded his resignation from this particular college. And Mamata Bandyopadhyay exactly did in half an hour. I mean, why don't you ask a normal protester who's sitting outside, and they will say, yes, this was our demand to remove him.
I'm not sure the protesting doctors. All right, 30 seconds, Shatrubha. I'm not sure the protesting doctors buy that argument that he was removed from one college and posted to another.
Nobody will buy that.
Yeah, nobody's buying that.
And
yeah.
Zaka, just 2 minutes.
No, I got to wrap up.
Has been a serial offender. He was chased out of the college a few months ago.
All right.
And he's back.
I got to wrap up. Thank you very much to all our guests. I will see, and we will follow up how this story plays out in Kolkata, because I think this is an inflection point. A lot of people are comparing this to Nirbhaya 2.0. And I hate to say this, back in 2012, when that unfortunate and absolutely tragic and horrific crime happened, the entire nation came together. We changed the laws. There was fast-track courts. But ever since then, admittedly, every few years, there are cases such as this which come to light, and it completely, utterly shakes our conscience. But we don't seem to be able to put an end to it. We don't seem to be able to, our system is not able to put an end to violent crimes against women. Earlier today, I spoke with the advisor to the central government, Kanchan Gupta. He says there is a challenging task before the CBI to try and fast-track justice. There is a clear attempt, according to him, to destroy the evidence and to whitewash the crime. This is Kanchan Gupta, is the senior advisor to the I&B Ministry of the central government. I'm now joined by Senior Advisor to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Mr. Kanchan Gupta. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. We saw this in 2012 when Nirbhaya happened, and now many people are calling this Nirbhaya 2.0. How and why do you believe that this time would be different? That we keep talking about, safety for women in public spaces and workspaces, etc., better laws, better investigation, better policing. But it seems like, it's almost episodic. We go from one case to another. Why do you believe this time it's different?
Well, a very simple answer to that would be that there is no fear of the law. And that is primarily because the process of justice just drags on and on and on till people lose interest in it. Now, for instance, in Calcutta, what has happened at RG Medical College, the attempt to destroy evidence, to sort of whitewash the crime by the establishment, and then to hand it over to the CBI after crucial time has passed, and then to expect that there will be a quick process of justice is an impossibility. I mean, I'm not saying that it cannot be done, but the CBI, which takes over today, will start investigating the case, and there are many gray zones. For instance, we don't know if there is any CCTV footage. And if there is that footage, whether it will be handed over to CBI, or whether it has been destroyed, or whether the cameras were quote unquote not working on that particular night. And along with that, as everybody, the whole world has seen, the scene of the crime, which is the chess department of Arjikor, has been demolished. I mean, why this undue haste to demolish that room, or to start repair work on that room? If it had waited this long, then it could have waited for another couple of weeks or a month. In Bengal, nothing moves so swiftly.
So,
And yet this happened. Now, the last point I want to make, that investigation is only one part of it. Then the prosecution begins, and how effective the prosecution is holds the key to justice.
So the contention by the TMC government there, the Kolkata police, is that, look, within 24 hours they arrested the lone accused in this case. He was remanded to custody. The chief minister went, met the victim's family. She even said that she's open to a CBI investigation pending 7 days. Of course, the High Court gave it to the CBI even before that. Their contention is, what else would you have the state government do?
Number one, the state governments, or at least section of the governments or the political establishments, culpability cannot be denied. Now, for instance, the principal of Arjikar Medical College, who is a history sheeter. I mean, I'm sorry to use this term, but who has a long record of misdemeanor. Yet he was appointed the president of this college. Then he was, just to sort of placate the people, he was taken off rostered, and then he was given charge of even a larger and more important medical college and hospital in Calcutta. Now, why this great support for him? And there are now videos which are available of this particular principal celebrating the Trinamool Congress's election victory. So it is clear that there is a nexus between him and the political leadership of Trinamool Congress. That is one part of it. The second is, why was the CBI not called in immediately? Ms. Mamata Banerjee cannot claim that it is about bolstering the confidence of the state police. The state police, I'm sorry, is severely compromised. It is severely politicized, and till now, West Bengal, whether it is the teachers recruitment scam, whether it is Sandesh Khali, the mass violation, sexual violation of women there, or any other case, the bomb factories of West Bengal, the local police has miserably failed. And she knew that, and she is the police minister of West Bengal. She, like in all other cases, she waited and she dared the Calcutta High Court to transfer the case. So that by itself gives the lie to the state government's position on the case, or the ruling political establishment position on the case. The last point which make of whose instructions was the chess department demolished? I mean, why was the demolition carried out in such great haste? Why? I mean, this why needs to be answered. And lastly, what is space and what is being claimed or what is being alleged by the protesting doctors, that the seminal fluid which was retrieved from the victim's body showed that there were at least 2 to 3 people. And person, I don't know whether this person was involved, directly involved, indirectly involved, whether he is the mastermind. I have no views on it. But just to arrest a person and say we have solved the case,
It's a condition that the TMC and people associated with the TMC are raising, is that, look, this is an attempted broad brushing by the BJP and its supporters, that, look, West Bengal, when it comes to crimes against women, has a better record than UP or Rajasthan or Madhya Pradesh. Calcutta is one of the safest cities for women. So this attempted broad brushing is again something that they're saying it's only because it happens to be an opposition ruled state. How would you counter that?
Well, I think that is a very weak and very pathetic position to take by a state government. I am a Bengali. I come from Bengal, and I would not want any slur to be pasted on my state. But I mean, this is staring you in the face, and such cases have happened again and again ever since the Trinamool Congress came to power. Now, recall the incident at Park Street, where a woman was picked up
Yeah.
by a bunch of people whose fathers or fathers were prominent members of the Trinamool Congress, and for months, the prime accused in the case for and the victim actually died before the people who were the accused were brought to trial. And then there have been several other such cases where women have been raped and killed. And if the Trinamool Congress wants to deny that, they are welcome to live in denial. But the people know. And as far as crimes against women are concerned, the National Police records, the statistics show that West Bengal is very badly off on safety and security of women. This is a state where a woman is dragged out in public and whipped in Taliban style. Government says women are in. This is a state where a teenager is whipped in a club which is sponsored by Trinamool Congress, and the government claims that that women are safe in this state, and all this happens in broad daylight. Many of the crimes in Calcutta and Greater Calcutta, and then to say that
Thank you very much for joining us with your thoughts and your perspective.